All right, let's talk about building digital trust. Today, we're diving deep into something called ISO 2701, which is basically your blueprint for doing just that. Okay, let's kick things off with a number that should probably make you sit up a little straighter. 39%. Yep, that's how many businesses got hit with a cyber attack just in the last year. It's a huge reminder that these threats, they're very real and they're happening all the time. So that really begs the question, right? For everyone. If you're a business leader, an IT manager, any team member, we all know an attack isn't a matter of if anymore, it's when. So, how prepared are you? I mean, really prepared? Are your defenses just you crossing your fingers and hoping for the best? Or do you actually have a solid system in place?
Okay, so how do we move from that feeling of panic, reacting to problems, to actually being proactive and protecting ourselves? Well, the good news is there's a global standard for exactly this.
And that standard is ISO 27001. You can think of it as the gold standard. It's the official playbook that the whole world recognizes for getting information security right. And this isn't just a list of friendly suggestions, no. It's a full-blown framework that tells you exactly what you need to do to manage and protect your most sensitive data.
Now, the very core of ISO 27001 is this thing called an ISMS. That stands for Information Security Management System. And it sounds kind of technical, but the idea is actually pretty simple. An ISMS isn't just one piece of software you install. Nope. It's the entire system, all your policies, your day-to-day processes, and the controls you put in place to keep your company's information safe.
And this whole system, it's built on three super important pillars. Think of it like a three-legged stool. You've got confidentiality, making sure only the right people see the data. Then there's integrity, keeping that data accurate and trustworthy. And finally, availability, making sure the right people can actually get to the data when they need it. You nail these three things, and you are in a really, really good spot.
Okay, I can hear you thinking it already. This sounds like a ton of work. And you're not wrong. But let's talk about the payoff, because it's huge. Why is going through all this so incredibly worth it?
Because here's the thing you've got to understand. ISO 27001 isn't just about playing defense. It's not just a shield you hold up to stop attacks. It's actually a strategic advantage. It's a tool that can help your business grow. So what are we talking about here? Well, for starters, it can help you win more business. A lot of clients and contracts flat out require it now. It helps you dodge those eye-watering fines that come with data breaches. It gives you a serious leg up on the competition. And maybe most importantly, it builds this incredible trust with your customers. It even helps clean up your own house, making your whole organizational structure better. At the end of the day, it really all boils down to one word: trust. Trust is the currency of the digital world we live in. I love this quote. It says, "Certification not only instills trust, but also strengthens relationships with clients and provides a clear competitive advantage." It's pretty much the strongest signal you can send to the world that you're serious about security. All right, so hopefully you're on board with why this is so important. Let's switch gears and talk about the how. The road to getting certified can seem a little intimidating, but it's actually built on a really logical, repeating cycle. It's called the Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle, and it's basically the engine that drives the whole thing. It goes like this. First, you plan. You design your system, you figure out your risks. Then you do. You actually implement everything. Next up, you check. You're constantly monitoring, reviewing, making sure it's all working. And finally, you act. You make tweaks, you fix things, and you're always looking for ways to improve. See? It's a loop, a living, breathing thing, not just some project you finish and forget about. Now, a big part of that do phase is putting specific security controls in place. They're all laid out in a part of the standard called Annex A. Now, there's a bunch of them, but don't worry, they're broken down into 4 simple categories: organizational, people, physical, and technological. This just makes sure you're covering all your bases, a complete 360-degree view of security. So you might look at that people category and think it's not a big deal. But you'd be wrong, and here's why. Get this, a staggering 95% of all cybersecurity breaches come down to human error. 95%! That's why training your people isn't just some HR task you check off a list. It is, without a doubt, one of your absolute best lines of defense.
Of course, let's be real. The journey isn't always a walk in the park. You're going to hit some bumps in the road. What if your bosses aren't on board? Well, the trick is to talk their language. Show them the business benefits, the ROI. What if you're short on cash or people? You just have to prioritize, tackle the biggest risks first. And what about that employee awareness problem? You got to make training a regular thing and make it engaging. The point is, for every common problem, there's a proven solution.
Okay, let's fast forward. You did it. You passed the audit. The certificate is framed on the wall. So you're done, right? Kick back and relax. Not quite. Not even close, actually. Because real security is so much more than that piece of paper. It's about building a culture.
You've got to think of getting certified as a milestone, not the finish line. It's a journey, not a destination. Real, lasting security only happens when you weave these practices into the very fabric of your company's DNA. It has to become just how we do things around here, not just prepping for a test once every few years. So, how do you keep that culture alive? Well, you do regular internal checkups, audits, to keep everyone on their toes. You keep your leadership in the loop so they stay invested. You keep the training going so security is always top of mind for everyone. And this is a big one. You have to be ready to adapt because the bad guys are always coming up with new tricks.
So let's end this where we started, with a question for you. Take a hard look at your organization. Is your approach to security proactive? Are you actively hunting down and managing risks? Or are you just being reactive, kind of just waiting for something bad to happen? ISO 27001 is the blueprint to help you be proactive. The next move, well, that's up to you.